In this video we're going to be going over how to use the Extrude tool. So sometimes when you first open Modo you might be on this Modo tab. I'm going to actually jump to this Model tab. It has a few less things, might be easier to digest. So up here I'm going to have the Model toolbar selected by default, and then I'll be on this Create tab. So let's go ahead and hold Control, left click on the cube so we have something in our scene to work with. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump to the Polygon tab and we'll find the Extrude tool right here. So if I was to click on this Extrude tool, I'm going to get my tool properties down here because we have our tool properties set to inline. So we'll see them in this menu. So I can either scroll down to continue seeing them, or what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hit the escape key to drop that Extrude tool. And what I'm going to do is click on this little caret key for this commands button. And that's going to get rid of all these menus right here. I really don't need them right now. So one other thing that I want to mention is just a weird quirk about Modo that once you get used to it, it's fine. But know that if nothing is selected, technically everything is selected, which at first seems a little bit weird. But up here I have polygons right here, and this little yellow text right here is going to tell me what I have selected. So right now it says all polygons are selected. So if I was to use a tool, it is going to affect that tool to all the polygons. So let's click the Move tool. The Move widget comes up. I'm now moving all of the polygons. Let's hit the Undo key. Let's hit the Escape key to drop that Move tool. So if I select one polygon, again I have polygon selected, I left click, I have one polygon selected, now it says one polygon is selected. So again I use that Move tool, it's only moving one polygon. So just know that this is the case when you start using tools, because if I was to hit the Extrude tool with nothing selected, it's technically going to try to extrude every single face on my model, and that can lead to really messy models if you don't know what you're doing at first. So with that out of the way, let's actually use the tool. So we have the polygon subtype selected. We're just going to select one polygon. Then what we're going to do is we're going to left click to select the tool. Its tool properties show up over here, and there's two different ways we can apply the tool. We can either hover over the 3D viewport and right click, that will apply the tool, kind of like when we were dropping 3D primitive shapes, or we can hit this apply button right here. They will effectively do the same thing. So let's hit the apply button first. And then over here, we can't see that anything has happened, but we have to trust that it actually applied the extrude. So now what we're going to do is we're going to not use the Extrude tool anymore. We're going to switch to the Move tool. So let's click on that. You'll see this one goes away and it goes to this one. Now if I grab this and I pull it up, you'll see that the edge extruded. So just a quick comparison. Let's hit the Undo key real quick. We'll get two cubes going at one time. This one, I'm going to left click the Extrude tool, go right here, hit Apply, go to the Move, and pull it up. This is the scenario that we have. Hit Escape to drop that Move tool. Now I'm going to select this edge. Now I'll just grab the Move tool and pull it up. And you can see the difference here is that Extrude tool, it created a whole nother edge that wrapped around and it pulled this face up. So realistically, let's go ahead and hit Undo to where we have a cube again. It kept this face, but it created all of these four faces, or you could think of it like it created this loop of edges that goes around, and then when we pulled it up, these faces were revealed. So I'll get rid of this cube, and let's jump into this one. So I'm going to do the same tool, but just do it a different way. So let's grab this top edge. So left click on our Extrude tool. That turns the tool on, but it doesn't really do anything to our model yet. And now instead of hitting the Apply button, what I want to do is really carefully right click. And now what happens is it used the Apply button, so it changed the model, but now it actually also gives me a little Move widget that I can now move this up. So it's kind of like I don't have to use this Move tool at this time. So again, really quickly, we'll undo and get back to where we started from. Select the polygon, left click Extrude, hover over the 3D viewport. Again, I have to have my cursor in the 3D viewport, right click, it applied the Extrude and it gave me a Move tool. So now I can move this up and I have my extrude completed. So with the extrude complete, I still technically have this extrude tool active. So what I want to do is deactivate that tool so I don't accidentally extrude another face. So to do this, I'm going to hit the escape key, and you'll see that it deselects right here. That's referred to as dropping the tool. So the next thing that I want to do is show you a common pitfall that new users have when working in 3D. So what I'm going to do is just modify this shape a little bit. And again, for this one you don't really need to follow along. Let's take this guy, bring him up over the ground plane, and I'm just going to turn this into one triangle. So if I look down here, I have this little thing that says GL1. This little GL, this is the number of triangles in your scene. So if I hit the undo key, let's say, and I bring that triangle back, so now I have one triangle, two triangles. Down here it says your GL count is 2. So let's start with just one triangle. What we're going to do is select that triangle, hit the extrude tool. We'll go ahead, hover over the 3D viewport, right click. That applies the tool. I'll go ahead and pull this up. So now let's look at the shape that we have. It's just a little prism. But if I look down here, now our total triangle count is 8. So with this, every quad, so this is a quad, it's a 4-sided shape, every one of these is technically broken down into triangles. So again, here you can see one triangle, two triangles. So let's go ahead and count this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Matches our number right here, 8 triangles. So what I'm going to do now is just extrude that face again. So grab this guy, left click, hover over the 3D viewport, and right click, and down here you'll see that it changed from 8 to now it's 14. So I can't see the faces that are kind of under this one yet until I pull it up, and then those faces show up right here. And again, each one of these is made up of 2 triangles, so 2, 4, 6. It added 6 triangles. 8 plus 6 is 14. Let's go ahead and undo that. So keeping that in mind, so now what I'm going to do is select this top face and extrude it again. So left click the extrude tool, go down here, and now I'm actually going to hit the apply button. So over here, pay attention, it says GL count 8, there's 8 triangles. As soon as I hit the apply button once, it changes to 14 as we would expect. But if I accidentally click that apply button again, now it says 20. Click again, now it says 26. So let's go ahead and switch to our move tool and pull this up and see what happens. So depending on the quality of the video you have it set to, most likely this edge right here should look a lot more faint than this edge right here, because technically what's happening right here is if I select this edge, it says right here 1 edge selected, but if I select this edge, it says 3 edges are selected. And again, that 3 edges correlates to the 3 times that I hit the apply button. The other thing, if I zoom in, let's switch to vertice mode, and I'll middle mouse lasso select to grab these. Now it says there's 3 vertices right here. So let's go ahead and select this and see what happens. Effectively, it just used that tool over and over again, and I may have not been aware of it. So let's hit W to move, pull that up. Now I'm going to select these 3 faces, W to move, pull that up, hold shift, select these faces again, pull that up. Now you can see that it stopped. So I extruded it 1, 2, 3 times because I hit the apply button 3 times. So again, that can be something that's a little bit quirky at first. If you accidentally leave a tool active and you don't know it, and you accidentally right click, or you accidentally hit the apply button, you can apply the tool more times than you initially mean to, and that can lead to a really messy mesh or other problems later down the line. So let's go ahead, hit the escape tool because we don't want the extrude tool active, and let's delete this shape out. So let's put another cube in. So we'll go to the create tab, hold the control key, left click on the cube, and we'll go back down to the polygon tab. So I want to go over a different thing you can do after you extrude. So let's grab polygons, grab the top face, hit extrude, so a left click, hover over the 3D viewport, right click, it gives us this move widget. So the difference between this move widget and this move widget is this guy right here has those extra little circles to where you can move something on 2 axes at once. So just because this tool's active doesn't mean we have to use it. I could actually switch to this move tool. And now I get these little circles right here, and these let me move on 2 axes at once. So now I could move this up and to the right, or just up, or just to the right. I get that freedom. So let's undo that. Hit escape to drop the tool. So I'm going to use the extrude tool again. I'm just going to left click to select it, hover over the 3D viewport and right click. Now what I'm going to do is, instead of using the move tool in any capacity, I'm going to switch to the scale tool. Let's rotate up. So now what I can do is I can either scale it in on all axes, or a combination of 2 axes by again using these circles, or I can just scale it in on 1 axis at a time by using these handles right here. So what I'm going to do is just grab the little cyan circle in the center. This is scaling it on all axes, and I'm going to scale it in. And then I'm going to hit that escape key to drop the tool. So now let's see what we have. So the top of our shape is still perfectly flat. We just have an inset of a polygon right here that's surrounded by kind of a loop of polygons here. So again, just another cool way of using the shape. So from here what I could do is grab this tool, left click to select. And then over here, select my extrude tool, left click, hover over the 3D viewport, right click, grab our green handle to move it up on the y-axis, and then we have this shape. So you can see how you can use the extrude tool in a bunch of different ways to get different results as far as changing your model goes. In later videos, I'll go over different tools, but just know that basic workflow of selecting what you want to modify, choosing the tool by left clicking it, and then in some capacity applying it. So again, either hovering over the 3D viewport and right clicking, or hitting the apply button. And then sometimes you'll get a different widget over here and it can change per tool. Then you can modify your shape in some way. And then when you're done modifying your shape, you want to drop that tool by hitting the escape key.